Hello friends, welcome to youtube.com oblique Dr. Vet channel. I am Dr. P.R. Patel, Professor and Head Veterinary Medicine. We discuss here important bacterial disease, bacillary hemoglobinuria. In part 2, we will discuss susceptible hosts, way of transmission and pathogenesis of developing the disease. Susceptible host for bacillary hemoglobinuria. The primary host is cattle. So it is commonly occur in cattle, sometimes commonly occur in sheep also. But in certain geographical areas, there is occasional occurrence in sheep. Disease occur very rarely in dogs and pigs. Animals in good conditions are comparatively more susceptible. This is the universal statement for Clostridial infection. Generally, most of the Clostridial infections affect the animals in a good condition. Here we will see how the Clostridium bacillary hemoglobinuria are transmitted from one place to other place, from one animal to other animal. The disease spread from infected to non-infected areas by floods and its water, natural drainage of the rainwater, and irrigation. Here the water flows from one place to the other place and it carries the spore of organism to the farthest place and spread the disease. If the hay is contaminated and if it is transported from one place to the other place, and when such hay are fed to the animal suffer from disease. The potential dangerous animals that spread the disease are carrier animals. Many a time, the dogs and other carnivores carry the bones or meat or carcass of infected animal and they spread the infection to other place. The spore found in bones of carcass up to 2 to 3 years after the death of the animal. So it remain viable or live for 2 to 3 years in the bone. Contamination of pasture occur from the feces of infected animal or from decomposing cadavers that is lying in the field and that spread the infection. The organisms are soil-borne anaerobes, especially in infected area or endemic areas. It is found in the soil. And in infected areas and endemic areas, the organisms are often present in the Kupffer cells of the liver of healthy cattle. Detail about Kupffer cells we will study in pathogenesis. Kupffer cells are the protective cells in the liver. In that, the organism lie dormant or quiet condition, and whenever there is any anaerobic favorable condition to the liver, the condition we will see in pathogenesis, the organism proliferate and produce the disease. Friends, we study interesting part, an important part of pathogenesis of bacillary hemoglobinuria. It is like this. There is an ingestion of the organism. Organism enter through oral route. Organism reach the intestine. There it produces enteritis and mostly the duodenitis. From this, the organism enter the portal blood vessels from duodenum. All these nutrients and infective particles has to go to portal blood vessels. Portal blood vessels, the organisms are carried to the liver, and in the liver, the organism localize and lie dormant in the Kupffer cells of the liver. Importantly, organism localize and lie dormant in the Kupffer cells of the liver. Friends, we know that the Kupffer cells act as a macrophage. The primary function of the Kupffer cells in liver is to remove the foreign debris, particle or organism that have come from portal circulation. So function is to remove any foreign material or foreign organism. The Kupffer cells take the large particles by phagocytosis and smaller particles by the pinocytosis. So Kupffer cells phagocytes our this Clostridium hemolyticum organism, and this organism lie quietly in a quiescent form or a dormant form for a long time into the liver. Now the important point we know, the Clostridium hemolyticum are ingested and reach the liver through the portal circulation. This Clostridium hemolyticum are phagocytosed by the Kupffer cells, and they remain in the Kupffer cells for a long time as a dormant or quietly. Now the important condition here is that the spores proliferate in the liver only when in certain spot, certain part or certain place or in the whole liver, if there is low oxygen tension or anaerobic condition, which are the condition we will study later on. So whenever there is anaerobic condition arise, the spores proliferate and start producing the toxin. Organisms are present in the liver, but the onset of disease or proliferation of Clostridium hemolyticum occur when there is anaerobic spot or a place or a part or a whole liver. And due to this, the incubation period is extremely variable. Organism is there in the body, but disease only produced when there is anaerobic or hypoxia condition in the liver. Now, whenever there is any disease condition, we'll see later on which are the condition. Localized necrosis in a liver, in a particular part, place or whole liver. There is development of anaerobic or hypoxia condition and proliferation of the organism Clostridium. We have seen that disease occur when there is localized necrosis in liver. Now, what are the conditions that cause localized necrosis in the liver? Important thing is migration of immature liver fluid. Important detail. Other parasites can also migrate to liver, also produce the same thing. Because of the accident, there is liver puncture that also cause localized necrosis. While taking liver biopsy, with clinician may cause necrosis or high nitrate content of the diet. All these causes mostly cause localized necrosis of the liver. Otherwise, it is observed that the spore will remain in liver of cattle without producing disease for several months. We have already studied that spores may persist for a long time, about 2 years, in the bones of the cadavers, even after death of the animal. The localized necrosis liver is due to development of the thrombus in a subterminal branch of the portal vein. This is the characteristic. And this thrombus produces a large anemic infarct into the liver, and that is the characteristic of the disease. This thrombus produces large anemic infarcts into the liver. We have seen very interesting pathogenesis. Most of these Clostridium hemolytica are found in this infarct, and they proliferate under the anaerobic condition. So remember, Clostridia require hypoxia or anaerobic condition for their development. That is a favorable condition for them. When there is favorable condition, the spores germinate in anaerobic condition, bacteria proliferate, multiply, and release exotoxin, including beta toxin. Beta toxin is important toxin responsible for the pathogenesis of the disease. Continue with the pathogenesis. We know that large quantity of beta toxin is produced that is responsible for pathogenesis. Beta toxin is necrotizing and hemolytic lecithinase. It contains phospholipase C. The function of phospholipase C is it induces hepatocellular necrosis of the liver cells, intravascular hemolysis, lysis of RBCs, hemolytic anemia, and hemoglobin is released that appear into the urine, called the condition hemoglobinuria. The beta toxin and other toxins are absorbed into the circulation, resulting to fatal toxemia, and it causes a generalized vascular damage of the whole body. Very dangerous condition. We see the further pathogenesis because of the hemolysis of RBC, intravascular hemolysis. There is severe anemia. This hemoglobin get lodged into the kidney tubules, and there is a mark with red or brown by hemoglobin spots. Hemoglobin appear in the urine, and urine looks like a port wine color. So synonym is red water disease. Organism also causes severe dry fibrinohemorrhagic peritonitis. Now this pathology in the body causes the various type of the symptoms. Friends, we have seen important and interesting pathogenesis. Pathogenesis is very important. It gives idea to the clinician how the disease develop, where and what stage the disease is there in the complete disease picture. clinician can know what is the improvement in the treatment. So pathogenesis is very much important to know the, and to study the disease. Please send this important information to veterinarians and veterinary friends to uplift the channel, to make the progress of the channel. Subscribe the channel. Thank you very much for observing this video.